Our waste of the week, the Biden administration released its annual report to Congress on the White House office personnel. In the first 2 years, the administration spent $100 million plus on payroll, while 220 staffers quit last year. Founder of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski, joining us now with this topic. And welcome back, Adam, on this Friday morning. During President Biden's first 2 years, he spent the most on the White House payroll in American history, you claim, based on a head count. So the Biden administration had 560 employees in fiscal year 2021, 474 this fiscal year, and about a 40% turnover, just under that. So if people are quitting, why is this much money spent on payroll?
So can you imagine, Scott, of running a business or any entity, whether it's a nonprofit, even your local church, if you had 4 out of 10 people quit on you last year? And that's exactly what's happened at the Biden White House over the course of the last 12 months. 220 staffers actually decided to leave the White House payroll and do something else. And so let's put this in perspective. Even after this great resignation at the White House, the Biden White House payroll still employs 100 staffers more than the Trump payroll at the same point in their presidencies.
Yeah, and what we do, I mean, you mentioned the Trump presidency. We do see almost after the first year of just about any presidential term, a lot of employees moving on. But you raise a good point with the disparity in numbers. Who are the top paid Biden White House staffers?
So the top paid staffer is Francis Collins. And who is Francis Collins? Well, his name is pretty familiar to the American people because he is the immediate past director of the National Institutes of Health. And they had primary responsibility, obviously, over the pandemic to set national health care policy. Now, he's received quite a pay raise. We've never seen a White House staffer all the way back to 2009 make $300,000. When he was heading up the NIH, if memory serves, he made about $225,000. The number 2 and the number 3 most highly paid White House staffers are the advisors to the president dedicated to transportation and infrastructure. Obviously, the White House wants to put their fingerprint on the $40 billion that Congress allocated on a bipartisan basis toward transportation and infrastructure.
Yeah, not a surprise some of those higher salaries would go towards something like working on COVID. Is the large White House payroll an indicator of expanding federal bureaucracy at all levels? What about the executive orders we've seen from the president?
Well, this is why I like giving oversight to the White House payroll every July 1st. In our organization at OpenTheBooks.com, we led every single national news media on giving that oversight. We were up first. And so here's what we found in terms of priority this year. Obviously, the world is a hotbed of chaos right now, whether it's Ukraine, whether it was the American leaving Afghanistan. But there's only 8 White House staffers dedicated to national security. There's 20 White House staffers dedicated to the last war. That was the war on COVID-19. There are 11 White House staffers dedicated to what the White House says is the number 1 security threat to the United States, which is climate change. So there's 11 staffers dedicated to climate change. On real national security, there's 8 staffers dedicated. Jill Biden, the First Lady, has 8 staffers dedicated to her, but there's only 5 staffers dedicated to education. So you can see if White House payroll is a leading indicator of administration priorities, you can see where they're lining up.
Well, the Office of Vice President has not included its information in this payroll release because they're exempt from releasing information regarding theirs. Shouldn't that be public information? Why is this considered secretive?
Well, if you were looking to see Kamala Harris, the vice president's payroll within the White House payroll, you're not going to find it. They're claiming they're exempt from the Freedom of Information Act based on a 1994 Clinton-era Justice Department memo. We disagree at OpenTheBooks.com. What we've been able to determine is that the Vice President of the United States, a heartbeat away from the presidency, is the least transparent elected official in the entire country.
Adam Andrzejewski, always bringing some enlightenment on some big stories out there. Thank you so much for joining us this Friday on the National Desk.
Thank you, Scott.